All right, folks, we're going to get started in just a moment or two. Hope everyone's doing excellent out there on the old internet. I'm doing all right here. I'm running a 60-second ad break, and when that ad break concludes, we will begin our stream proper. I hope everyone's doing well out there. I already said something similar, but you know what I mean. We'll get started in just a moment or two. Might be a slow, chill Saturday night. Who knows? Maybe everyone's going to arrive all at once, and it'll be poppin', but I don't know. I don't have any indication or idea if it's going to be like what the vibe is going to be tonight. But I do know that once the stream starts proper, we're going to get kicking off on finishing up the Qubeley, and that'll be fun. And then I know what we're building next. I don't know if we're going to get to that tonight, but at the very least, I know what it is. It's not what I was expecting to win a poll, but it did. Um, and yeah, we're going to get started in just a moment or two. Get ready for it. It's coming your way. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Barricade link of the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes or glow emotes. Or if you feel like just being a lurker and hanging out and not talking on your Saturday, you can go ahead and lurk. We're currently at 44. Speaking of subscribers, we're currently at 44 out of 50 subscribers. The goal is 50. We're hoping to get to 50. If you'd like to become a subscriber, it would be a great time to do that. You want to gift a sub to somebody in the community, you could do that as well. Ghost Valve is here. Hello, Ghost Valve. Welcome, welcome. Throttle Bottom says, a fine evening to you, sir. Well, fine evening to you as well. Thank you very much. Welcome, welcome. It's Saturday night. The Qubeley needs to get completed. We finished the both arms and both of the big old wing shoulders and the head, the chest, of course. We have completed one leg done. I've got another foot done and part of a leg done. So we're going to finish that other leg. Then we're going to build the waist and then the backpack question mark, the tail question mark, the back plate. The back plate needs to get made, and then we'll take a couple photos, and that'll be it. I believe we will finish this tonight. We might have an opportunity to begin the next thing. I didn't want to say, oh, and we're going to start, because I wasn't sure. It might take the whole stream to finish this kit up. If we do have time, we will get into the next thing, which is a Lego set. And I won't say what it is. My $10 patrons voted on what I should do. They had the options of 2 different model kits, a model kit from Witch from Mercury, a model kit from G Gundam, and a Lego set, and they voted Lego set. There's only a couple of my, only a couple $10 patrons over at patreon.com/PatBear. I only have about a few of them, and at least one of them never votes, which is okay. They don't have to. So generally, there's a lot of ties, or I vote to break a tie. I try not to vote to break a tie, but yeah. If I had more $10 patrons who were actively voters, then the polls would be a lot more decisive, but they're not, which is fine. It's okay. But yeah, I think tonight might be pretty goddamn relaxed. That's going to be my vibe. The vibe feels like a Saturday in the summer. That's kind of what the vibe is, you know? Like, sometimes there's a ton of people, and they're ready to hang out. Sometimes everyone shows up at 10 o'clock for some reason, and it's like, okay, welcome. But, you know, and sometimes it's just very chill. And I think that's okay. We're working on a weird-looking model kit and hanging out. Then we got a bunch of stuff to talk about, and I think that's totally cool. And, you know, should be pretty dang fun. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. Let's go to the overhead. There's the overhead. We got the Qubeley. As you can see, we were still top right and left corner saying 44 out of 50 subscribers. The goal is 50, but, you know, that's just the goal. We got a leg done here. We got a foot done. We were working on the other leg, so we'll get into that. It's going to look like this. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, all right. So we'll keep working on that. Um, you may have noticed we have not had a Twitter update in a little while because there's not much going on at X Corp over there that is worth chatting about. One update that I did see that I thought was fine and kind of it's not fully confirmed, but it appears that some people who are, of course, have to check they paid some ex premium people, formerly known as Twitter Blue, some ex premium people have been complaining because they did not receive a second payment. They got their first payments, but they have not received their second payment yet. And they were wondering what's going on with that. And a few people who were promised that there would be a payout, and that payout didn't come. And it's almost like, this is a weird thing to say. It's almost like it's made up, and the head of the company is just telling his employees to send people various amounts of money and figure out a number based on some kind of metric that's hidden. And perhaps him recovering from a surgery, a back surgery, is delaying his ability to tell his employees to pay people various odd amounts of money. That, again, that's conjecture on my part. I don't have any proof that none of it makes any sense or matters at all and is just the whims of a nightmare person who happens to be injured at the moment or recovering from surgery, I should say, not injury, surgery. And perhaps that is why people are not being paid in a timely manner. Or, this is just another hypothesis, there is no money. They don't have money. They don't have this money to pay people things. Paying for content, that's something you do with a healthy business model, which they don't have. Who knows? Who could say? But that's your Twitter update. I don't call it X. I'll refer to it as X Corp. The same way, it's Facebook, right? I just call Facebook Facebook. I don't refer to it as Meta. I guess that's the name. I don't call Google Alphabet or whatever the fuck their holding company title is. That's just Google. I don't, so. Also, here's the thing. I'll be more likely to call it X when I go to twitter.com and it redirects me to x.com. It doesn't. It's still on twitter.com. So call it like I see it. Call it what it is. That's just me, though. That's just where I'm at. Your buddy Pat is at. Hey, there's a weird... I talk about wrestling on here, and we'll do a little bit more of that tonight. First, before I get into the weird shit, all the best to a wrestler recovering for some injury, RSA Endo. Is currently recovering from, I believe, a injury to her back that happened last night, our time. Because she was scheduled to compete tonight, but unfortunately cannot do that, and we wish her the best. Arisa Endo is a fantastic wrestler, really coming into her own, very positive, thumbs up all the time, great, changes her hair color all the fucking time, which is fun. This is like a great wrestler that we hope recovers quickly and is back in the ring soon. And now on to the weirdness. So last night on AEW Rampage, which is their show that airs on Friday nights, a match got announced for this coming Wednesday. Now, should say, Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision next week are all going to be branded as Fight for the Fallen. Fight for the Fallen is their yearly charitable work. AEW does charity outreach all year round. AEW Together, that's the whole thing. They do that. But once a year, they do a Fight for the Fallen, which is their attempts to use their name, like ticket sales, proceeds for the shows go to a charity event of some sort. It's a nice thing. It's a little thing. It's a nice thing. They're going to be these Fight for the Fallen shows are going to be supporting the relief efforts for the wildfires in Hawaii, and that's great. One of the matches scheduled for Wednesday was clearly figured out and booked and dealt with way before they decided it was going to be Fight for the Fallen. And I guess they chose not to reschedule it, I guess. They were like, well, it's Fight for the Fallen. And also, I guess we're going to do this match because, some people spent a lot of money to get this match to happen. So I guess we need to have this match is the vibe I'm getting from this. So I'll tell you what it is so we can actually talk about it on stream here. It's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match. There's a new video game coming out, which is the asynchronous Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game. And to celebrate it, or to cross-promote, there's going to be a death match. Featuring on television, featuring such deathmatch luminaries as Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy, neither of whom are known for their deathmatch wrestling. They didn't get Jon Moxley to do it, or bring in some Japanese talent, perhaps. Sawyer Wreck, the queen of the death matches, who is an independent wrestler all over the place. No. Instead, we're going to have moves surprisingly well for his age, Jeff Jarrett, and moves surprisingly well for the amount of damage he's done to his body over the years, but still not great, Jeff Hardy. And I don't think it makes any fucking sense. I'm sorry, I have to itch here. I gotta scratch an itch here on my arm that is just really annoying me. And now it doesn't annoy me anymore because I took care of it. My apologies. So we have to talk about this because what the fuck? And then the whole thing was there was a video where Jeff Jarrett is like, I set this up. Like the kayfabe of it is that Jeff Jarrett, businessman who works for AEW, which is a shoot, but that he, in his infinite business wisdom, was like, I made a deal with this game publisher that we're going to promote their video game by having a death match, and I booked myself for it. Like, what? Why would you do that? It's like, because he really wants to beat up Jeff Hardy because he's feuding with Jeff Hardy. It's like, what? What are we doing here? It's weird. Not sure about it, friends. So, yeah, I had to talk about it because I was like, what the fuck is going on with this? It's going to be a good Dynamite. Got Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta, continuing the BCC hatred of Orange Cassidy. I assume this will lead to All In. I don't think this is going to be like Moxley versus OC. I think it'll be like Moxley and Yuta and Claudio versus I don't think it'll be the best friends. I think they just got beat up off TV. So it'll be like Orange Cassidy getting some friends together to help him take them out, I guess. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match. It's very funny on all fronts. Yeah, just weird. Britt Baker versus the Bunny. Winner will advance to the women's title match at All In. So Britt, which is, there's no reason to have a tournament if you're just going to put the 4 people that you would expect to be in that tournament. But whatever. A Kenny Omega sitting down for an interview with good old JR, discussing what he's going to do next. One would assume that is a match at All In or All Out. One would assume. We'll actually learn some more about that. I'm gonna put that as an assumption. Hey Harold, welcome. On Wednesday we're gonna see MJF and Adam Cole talking, are gonna cut some promos or a video package or something. And we know that another match we'll see, one of the 4th of 4 matches that have been announced, is Darby Allin and Nick Wayne taking on the Gates of Agony. So that's fun. That'll be a wrestling match. Oh, sure. But yeah, I mean, it's just like weird shit going on, and wrestling's always weird. Wrestling is always weird. Rey Mysterio is a champion. Rey Mysterio won the U.S. title last night. That was unexpected. Because I did not think Santos Escobar, who was originally scheduled to compete, I did not think he was going to beat Austin Theory. Did not think that at all. And then he couldn't compete in the match, so Rey took his spot, and then Rey won. And that's weird. It's a weird thing. It was still cool. Pretty okay night of wrestling over at the WWE and SmackDown, and then of course Rampage. Not bad. Rampage was fine. So yeah, that match next week is weird, and I don't quite know what to think about it. What? No, that's not a new. I'm looking at news stories. I don't have a lot going on with me these days. I mean, I'm working on a couple things that could be exciting, but right now they're not in the sharing stage. They're in the trying to figure it out stage. Today I dedicated my afternoon to yard work and video recording. I recorded a new Pat Bear's Anime Club that'll go up on for everybody on Monday, tomorrow for $5 and $10 patrons over at patreon.com/PatBear. So I did that. Took care of that stuff. And then, yeah, I did a bunch of fucking yard work. It was a whole lot. We have from the driveway, we've got this like sidewalk path that goes back to the side of the house. And so we went, so I cleaned that up. Used the edger, used the weed whacker, used some hand tools, swept it all, cleaned it all up, swept it all up, took an allergy pill beforehand. Yes, Rey Mysterio truly is the Submit Sarkar of WWE. He truly, truly is. Always there when you need him. But yeah, it is, it would be nice, it was nice to get out there and do some labor and get some stuff done. I don't enjoy yard work. Still haven't ever really enjoyed it. I do appreciate the fruits of my labor resulting in like, oh, that looks nice. Or, oh, I think I did a better job than I normally do on this. Like, I do take some satisfaction in that, but I don't take like, oh, what else can I do? And what's next? Like, I'm not looking to grow as a person when it comes to that stuff. I'm mostly just like, okay, what else needs getting done? Or what am I contractually obligated to do? What will be helpful to my folks if I do it? That kind of thing. And like I said, today I shot a video. It went well. It was good. I wrote a script for next week's Baerly Rehearsed that is, I think, really funny. I will tell you that I'm finally doing a wrestling character for Baerly Rehearsed. I found an angle for it that I thought was pretty good. I have been thinking about doing something like that for a while, so I found a character that I liked, so I'll be doing that. I'll record that probably Monday night, maybe tomorrow night, depending on where I'm at, how I'm feeling about it. Going to use a green screen app for that. I got a cool backdrop. So yeah, so that Kurt Angle, yes, indeed, Harold, a Kurt Angle. No, I'm happy with the piece that I wrote for that, and then recorded Pat Bear's Anime Club. A thing I haven't done this in a while. I won't talk about the actual video, but I did manage to. Whoop! My mic just started. Whoa! You're right. It did. Whoa! Sorry. Whoa! The fuck? Check. That's weird. Sorry, everybody. Oh, God, I don't want to. I'm gonna. This is now the second stream in a row where I had mic issues. You may remember that on Thursday, or maybe it was Tuesday, one day this week, I went to start the stream and my mic wasn't on, but I had checked the levels and everything was fine before, so I don't know. Aristophan, enjoy your lurking. Also, hi. And Dirty, welcome. Yes, everything just went bonkers there. That's weird. So yeah, I did a thing today for Pat Bear's Anime Club that'll go up on Monday, a day early to my patrons. But I asked social media for help with a thing, and I haven't done that in a bit, because the video is on shows from 2023 that you feel like anime specifically that you feel like people slept on, or they missed out on, or people should go back and watch them. And a few people said things that I've already that either I was planning to cover, or one person was very particular about a show that they felt like nobody was talking about, and I was like, that show is very popular, so it might just be your circles didn't really get into it, but it's big, so don't worry about it. But a few of them, it was good to be like, oh, I should talk about these. So that's that video. And then one person mentioned a show that I hadn't watched, and I know did well enough in Japan that they're doing a second season. But I was like, oh yeah, I meant to watch that. So that was kind of fun to be able to be like, hey, what's the show this season that you feel like people didn't, check out, and they really needed to do that shit. I'm going to turn my mic down a notch here. Now I am too focused on my microphone, which is bad. I want to not think about it. But, yeah, I thought that went well. I thought that the video turned out good. Of course, people will see it soon. Just some recommendations. Because the last video I did, which, I'll mention at during the pause for the cause, involved a lot of research. Way more research than I normally do for Pat Bear's Anime Club. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do one of these that does not require so much research. What if I do one that's more like opinion-based, instead of like me going on web forums and cross-referencing things and searching for old documents and looking at wikis? Like, what if I don't do that for a video, and instead I just talk about the shows that I think are good? So, and then just find some images to go along with it. That was a lot easier of a video. A lot less research, which is great. All right, let's see. I'm heading over to Kotaku. A bunch of people are like, hey, there's going to be a PS5 Slim. Here's what we think it'll look like. Nobody fucking knows that. Nobody knows. Don't worry about it. Lord Crashing says, hey, Pat. We had a good old-fashioned summer storm day with a lot of thunder and lightning. Ooh, okay. Yeah, the other night we had some storms. Last night it rained quite a bit, kind of out of nowhere. Uh, Things seem to be settling down here as far as that weather goes, which is great. It's still hot. Like I said, I was outside today doing yard work, and it was not comfortable. It wasn't great. Um, let's see. Let's see. There's a whole thing about this. Uh, this is nothing new. People are saying, "Hey, people in the Steam Overwatch 2, you can get it on Steam. That's like a thing. It's weird. It's weird you can do that. You can get Overwatch 2 on Steam if you wanted to. That's not the news story I want to talk about. Uh, Very smartly and understandably, people were like, "Huh? Well, if you can buy it on Steam, that means there's Steam reviews. I wonder what people are saying about Overwatch 2 on Steam." So, uh, hey, people are still playing it, but there's over 42,000 reviews on Steam for Overwatch 2, and it's overwhelmingly negative. Um, uh, Most popular review with over 25,000 helpful ratings is a declaration that the people who make Overwatch porn work harder than the people who make Overwatch, which I don't agree with, right? Like, it is fun to rag on a game, it is fun to rag on a situation. I do not think that the people who are working on Overwatch 2, the developers of Overwatch 2, I do not think they work. They don't. I think they work very hard. Uh, wouldn't have the porn without the hard work of the devs. Indeed, Lord Christian. But I think if you want to be like, oh well, the best part of Overwatch 2 is that the fandom makes pornography of it. If you wanted to say that, I think that is not an unreasonable thought. But to say that's disrespectful and just people jumping on a meme there to want to like that. Um, but also, there are positive reviews, and some of the positive reviews, of course, have said, "Bad game, good porn." So even some of the positive reviews are still like, "I'm positive about the pornography in this game," which is not the best sign. Uh, Fat Scout, it says, perhaps a more accurate statement. The people who make Overwatch porn care more about the IP than the C-suit Activision executives in charge of it. Yes, people who are making business decisions about Overwatch 2 probably care less about it than the people that, from a business perspective, realize there might be some amount of money to make for the pornography because they recognize that an audience is hungry for that. Because I'm not saying that everyone that makes that pornography is doing it just for their own love of it. But at the very least, I think maybe you could argue that the people that are making Overwatch pornography are more interested in the Overwatch community and the growth and well-being of the Overwatch community than Activision Blizzard executives on average. Um, and then, of course, one of the best. I'm reading this from Kotaku, by the way. They're doing this reporting. I'm just checking out Kotaku here. One of the best positive reviews is, of course, buen porno, good porn. Uh, and of course, there are people who are like, if you like collecting cosmetics, Overwatch 2 expects you to hand over your entire wallet. And it's like, yeah, but like they're cut. That to me is just like fucking duh. Yeah. Yes. Yes, a game that costs money that also wants you to spend a bunch of money on cosmetics is a bummer, but also like, yeah, yes. I don't know what to tell you. Um, I have seen in a few people. I am not playing Baldur's Gate 3, but I would say that talk to your friends that are weird D&D folks or weird tabletop folks. If the thing that you are finding in playing um, that game, if you're playing Baldur's Gate 3, and the thing that you're coming away from it most is, or top is, I'm not having a lot of fun. The random elements of chance are a detriment to my enjoyment, then perhaps you would be interested in trying out a game system that is less focused on dice rolls. And perhaps you have some friends who are into some RPG-ness, that, the tabletop role-playing games that are less that have rules, but they're less die focused. Or playing a game where a quote unquote bad roll isn't actually a deterrent. It is just another type of storytelling, which there are plenty of games where that is the case. Because I am seeing that sentiment from a few people being like, yeah, it just feels very punishing and not in a fun way. But they're liking a lot of other things from Baldur's Gate. But that's the thing. It might be that, uh, you know, that the roll of the dice is not necessarily what you are exactly looking for. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's important and great to know, to figure that stuff out, to try those systems. If Baldur's Gate 3 is your first game like this, then you'll hopefully learn something from it. I think that's true with any game that is a popular game in a genre you are not maybe super familiar with, is to be like, all right, this is one of the best of these. And if I don't like that, maybe I don't like these kinds of things. I don't know. Um, let's see. Let's see here. Other things we talk about. I think we talked about Quake 2 already. I think we talked about that on Thursday. Uh, Lord Crash says, I had a fun fight where I got wiped going to the ground head first, but found a fun way in by dropping a big stone pillar above their area to create a hole to get a surprise entrance to take them on. That's fun. Yeah, I mean, like, look, you want creative uses of the systems, right? It's not breaking it. It's not cheesing it. It's working within the space creatively. You want to be rewarded for that kind of stuff. It's a bummer when games don't let you like get weird with it. In the same way that if you're playing a pen and paper, and you have a game master who is like a stickler, who is only interested in playing like the moments they think need to be in their story, and they are not rewarding you for trying to have a good time, uh, like that can be frustrating. So in similar ways, blew up a barrel and took out a bunch of them quickly. Hell yeah! Sometimes you just gotta blow up a barrel, take them out, get creative with it. Yeah. Sometimes you see six bandits, and you're like, oh, we got an encounter. It's time to fight. And sometimes you discover you lure an owl bear to attack the bandits and sneak by them because you use a variety of roles and items that you were given in order to to go a different way. And yes, maybe the GM has written this incredible encounter with these bandits, and there is a bandit in that party that has some information that you really need and all this other stuff, and they're like, but that is the GM to go, all right, well, I guess I got to fucking figure that shit out. This character wasn't, that character is going to have to be available later because they wanted to do another thing, and so we did it. Lord Crash says, I think Vinny was right that the moments where you're near something or somebody you want to deal with and are stopped because it's slightly outside of your range. He said it's like having a DM that's a stickler for the rules than one that let things go. Yes. I imagine, I haven't heard Vinny's full thoughts on the game, but I imagine that the dungeon master or the game master in Baldur's Gate 3 has a ruler and is a real stickler for the rules of engagement and the range of engagement. Like, is a real stickler for that to the detriment of the party having a good time. Just be like, it's like, yeah, you know what? You do it. Like, say, like, it's going to be a little weaker because you're just outside the range, or, you know, they're able to resist. Like, you know, you don't have advantage on the. What the fuck just happened there? Advantage. I just said advantage, and why did I say that? Weird. Sorry. I caught myself on there. I was like, hey, this word is coming out weird out of my mouth, and I don't know why. Advantage. You could say, like, you don't have advantage in this. Like, because you have disadvantage. Whatever. Because of this. But, like, yeah, to be like, you got to walk a little closer if you want to do that. You can't do that from here. It's like, It's within the letter of the law, but not the spirit of the rules. I have lots of thoughts on that. I am obviously I am a storytelling focused GM. I like to weave a tale, but it is interactive fiction. It is a group project. Is how I treat those things, and also like it's one of the reasons why Lasers and Feelings is a pretty easy system to use. Fiasco is a very easy system to use. When I play 5th edition, I am generally not hard and fast with the rules, but I prefer when we are just like trying to figure it out as we go along and kind of like see what's up, and in this game that's fine. It's still within the rules, but the ability to be a little flexible just makes for a better game experience, in my opinion. Not true for everybody. It's just my opinion on it. All right, we are almost done with this kit. We are going to get started on the thing we're doing next, the Lego set we're doing next. Once we finish this, because we're wrapping this kit up. I thought this was going to take the whole stream. I don't know why I did, but I did think it was going to take the whole stream. It is not. So I'm glad I know what I'm building next. Lord Crashton says, it's like when golf games have you're close enough, so we'll knock it in the hole for you feature. Yes. Like, hey, guess what? If you didn't make this putt, something very bad must have happened. So, sure, this little tap-in putt, you could just do it. We got you. We understand. Katsuhiro Harada is just like, hey, don't ask me for shit. And then, no, there's more to it. Specifically, he's like, hey, when you threaten people on social media to do the games or work hard or anything like that, it actually slows down the process. It's not just nasty and it's not just nasty. And it's not just like a waste of everyone's time. It actually is a waste of other people's time because let's say like you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna talk some weird shit about this event. That event has to take that seriously. They might have to have some security. They might have to review plans. They might have to get different insurance. It's just one of those things like game developers. When you are threatening the lives of game developers, even if you don't fucking mean it and you're just being a weird internet jerk, just being a weird fucker, it still directly can hurt and slow down development. It's like literally outside. It's like there's outside of actually committing a crime, it is like the worst thing you can do for the thing you supposedly love. So basically, the response here is he tweeted a retweet on August 9th, or a screenshot, sorry, of someone who he did blur out, which didn't have to, but hey, great. Bigger audience, certainly. Saying that they would, they'll hit him with a burning hammer if long-time fighter, basically if a character, Eddie Gordo, doesn't appear in Tekken 8. Because the game's not out, but the leaked roster didn't have Eddie Gordo's there. So, of course, people are mad. But basically, like Harada says, when people make these silly threats, I and everyone at FGC suffer the following losses. The event operator overreacts, increases security, which increases operating costs, increases the burden on the players, and goes through, basically. Half of Tekken games don't have editing anyway. Yes, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah. Bobby just gave out 5 subs to the community. Thank you so much, Bobby. To Being Sage, Shot Point, Mew Yabby, Hibiki Rush, and 2 kids to feed. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego to the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Thank Bobby for that. Very kind of you, Bobby. Bobby is the top of our gift sub leaderboard. We are now at... Oh, also I should say, Bobby has now gifted a unbelievably ridiculous number, 130 gifted subs to this channel. Bobby, that's a whole lot of subs. You have let a lot of people not see ads and use cool emotes, and also supported me in my nonsense, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Bobby, for that. Reminder, we are now at 49 out of 50. The goal is 50. Thank you very much, Bobby. That is very kind of you. I appreciate that very much. Bobby says, don't thank me. Thank you for your unwavering consistency and your ever-present wholesomeness. Well, I appreciate that. Wholesomeness comes and goes. I do my best. Consistency is a thing that I'll say I do take pride in. Now they have to harass Harada for not including Eddie Gordo in Tekken 8. Yes. Now everyone has time to go that. Yeah. And then he does this thread. This thread is great. He sounds his point by retweeting a photo of him wearing a shirt that he wore with English text on it that is kind of a famous Harada shirt. It just says, "Don't ask me for shit." That is that is an all-time classic T-shirt to just be like, "Hey, you know what? Like, fuck off. Don't even bother with this shit." It continues to be one of the best shirts. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can go. See if I can find this the thread. Pat, there are now 2 animes you got me into. The first was Cat and Dog. Oh yes, It's very good. And now the second one is Reborn as a Vending Machine. I now wander the dungeon. Hell yeah. Enjoy that very fun, weird little anime. Those are two very different vibes, but also like I get it. Like sure, it's like I gotta get a sense of like what you're putting down by having those be the ones that you're like, yeah, these are the ones I'm checking out. We're almost done with this kit, which is great. Okay, so yeah, so Harada makes some, I think, very good points in talking about this. One of these I thought was great. If the person making these threats uses the word we instead of I to represent the fans, the probability of the two aforementioned disadvantages occurring is increased. Many of them don't seem to understand this. I do not adopt the views of those who use we when expressing their opinion. But to basically to say, people who are out there acting as if they speak for the community, in general, the feeling is that it's like, no, you don't speak for anyone. And apparently, if you use we when you're like, we deserve blow or we want this or whatever, Harada just goes, yeah, I'm not. I don't have to listen to your opinion. I think is valid. I put this together and I missed a step in putting this backpack, tail, whatever together. So I got to try to pop these apart, and I will. Yes, Lord Crash, and everyone should have a "Don't Ask Me for Shit" shirt, or at least a mug. Yeah, Rada taps his shirt once again. Yeah. By enthusiasts behaving excessively, repeating these words and actions, or fake information and hoaxes, valid, or threats, the motivation of the development staff will be decreased rapidly, and as a result, the requests of enthusiastics will be far from being realized. It literally doesn't help anyone, is the general statement, which I think is totally reasonable. I should say, the person expressing the opinion says, everyone around me says so, in parentheses, at most 5 to 6 people around me, is irrelevant. Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, all my homies hate. And it's like, yeah, well, how many homies do you have? All of them do? There are dozens of us. Yes. Dozens. I have to get this. I fucked up pretty bad here, friends. This is not going to want to pop out easy. This is going to be not great to get this out safely, because there's a lot of parts here. Like, I don't think I'm going to break it because this one piece is pretty heavy, but I could break this. So that's not good. So let's see if I can get this done. Basically, to put this on the back here, I need to have this piece needs to pop in here on the back, and then it'll snap in there. But it's gotta do this first, and I can't do that yet. Fucked it up. It is less. Yes, Lord Crashing. This is indeed the one piece. I've had it this whole time, or since I got this kit. I guess I've had it. So not that long. Okay, so this is separating, which is good. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Doing it. Okay. Now, don't get overconfident, Pat. Just kind of move things around. There we go. We did it. Or I did it. We did it. You know what? It's a team effort. Everybody did it. And we just pop this open here. There we go. Whew. Okay. So now, let me do this without fucking it up. Got to put this like this. And then... no, because that's got to turn the other way. So it's not like that. It's like this. Oop. Yes. Great. It's a good thing I tested it before I snapped it back together because that would have been very embarrassing. All right, and this goes like here. You're never going to see this goddamn thing, but it's part of the kit, so I want to get it right. Okay, we did that. Now we got to put these in here. Get these all loaded up. If this kit was displayed, these would all fall off so fast. I would lose these so quickly. I do not believe that I will be displaying this kit, but you know, be out there doing its thing. Okay. Oh, also, someone replied to him saying, you know what? I'm just going to spend my money elsewhere. You make a luxury product for a narrow demographic who mostly go out of their way to afford it. Easy to forget. Probably better develop a game the board members and the lawyers will like to play. Good luck. Because you mentioned in there how this kind of behavior, and when he's talking about board members and lawyers, he's talking about events, not the game. He's talking about like the heart of the fighting game community is events and how threats make those events run poorer. And that's why he brings it up. To which Harada does reply, which obviously Harada does not reply, going, thank you for pointless reply. I've never seen anyone as unreadable as you. You seriously need to study up. Farewell. Which is just, that farewell is incredible. And then a bunch of people being like, and then people like, yay. And it's all whatever. It's all whatever, friends. Anyway, that's your update from the world of gaming. There's not much going on. It's the summer. There's only going to be so much nonsense. Only so many things. Let's see. Any other? So maybe some dumbasses leaked a thing in the world of wrestling. This is a short little story here. American Truck Sim devs announced that Nebraska is coming to the game after Kansas is done. Oh, great. Cool. Good. I'm glad they're putting out more states. Awesome. So, the rumor out there was that Rikishi was going to be a special guest referee in a match at WWE Payback in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on September 2nd. So apparently he was doing a signing at a meet and greet, and it read, "Come meet Rikishi before he referees at Payback." And so people were like, "Oh, he's going to referee like his son's having a match." Weird. And then Rikishi was like, "That's a mistake from the promoter of that event," which is a fucking wild mistake, don't you think? Most likely, Rikishi was like, "Yeah, hey, well, this is the thing you can say once it gets announced," and then this shop just like didn't. The place that's doing the meet and greet, which I imagine is a action figure shop or a comic shop or something like that, collectible shop, was just like, "Oh yeah, let's start promoting that," and they didn't think about the consequences of doing that and how that could put, Rikishi in trouble because he told them. But if we see Jimmy and Jay Uso having a thing where, it looks like Jimmy or Jay quit WWE, but that's obviously storyline. If they end up having a match at Payback, their dad could be the referee, which is weird and kind of great. But also Rikishi should get involved somehow in the Bloodline storyline. Would make a lot of sense. All right, let's panel line this thing after the pause for the cause. We're going to take a pause for the cause, talk about ways you can support the channel. Then I'm going to panel line this bad boy, stick it on there, and we'll call this kit complete. And then we'll work on something very different from it. From the Qubeley, aka one of the weirder kits I've built in a hot minute. But we'll wrap up that kit finally in a bit here. But first things first. Here we go. I'm going to talk to you, friends, about ways you can support what I do here on the channel. If you are new to the stream, I stream on Mondays and Thursdays and Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, building model kits and Lego sets and occasionally papercraft, very rarely. And then on Tuesdays, I do something that is not model kit building, just to hang out and spend a little time with y'all as well. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here financially, and I'm going to be talking about ways you can support me financially here for the next couple of minutes. I call it the pause for the cause. It is just me telling you about ways you can support what I do here. Instead of doing it constantly throughout the stream, I just do it, in the middle, and then I kind of talk about it outside of that, but whatever. But yeah, being a subscriber, easy enough. Nukatronic, I am going to answer that question, not right now, because I am talking to you about ways that you and everyone else can support what I do here. I have several minutes of talking about that, and then I will answer your question, but I will not do that until I am done with my spiel, and then I will get into some other conversation. Just bad timing for the question, but thank you for it. Just bad timing. We saw that Bobby gifted some subs to the community, which is rad. I appreciate that very much. No need to apologize. Just letting you know. I'm not ignoring your question. I just can't answer it at the moment. But yeah, Bobby gives us some subs, which is really kind. You can use cash money to be a subscriber. You could gift a sub. You could use your Prime Gaming token if you have Amazon Prime link to your Twitch. We're currently at 49 out of 50 subscribers. I stopped talking about getting to the number 50 once we get to the number 50. That's how that works. So if you want to become a subscriber, that's an easy way to help me out. There are other ways, of course. There are other ways if you wanted to help out your old friend Pat. Like perhaps you could go to my Patreon. I mentioned it earlier in the night. Patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, and $5 and $10 tier. Different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining it. I've been around so long, they let me do the $1 tier. They don't. If you start a new Patreon, you can't do the $1 tier anymore. Because they didn't like their cut of the $1, I guess. But anyway, I still have that. I'm a legacy. But yeah, $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. Different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining that. Jump over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBaer. Subscribing is free to my YouTube. I put up a bunch of different content there. It's a variety channel. And if you wanted to, you could become a member over there. And for just $2 a month, you would get my Wednesday videos a day early. You get them on Tuesday. And the one I'm recording for next Wednesday, it's pretty fucking funny. It's good. Is it going to turn out great? I don't know yet. But I know right now that I think it's funny. So there you go. You can check that out. Those are all ways to monthly support what I do. You could do a one-time donation if it's something you're interested in doing. At PayPal or Stream Elements or Coffee. Nukatronic to subscribe with Prime. Thank you so much. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Thank you very much for that. We have hit up my goal at 50 subscribers. It's very kind of you. We can throw some emotes in there. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that, Nukatronic, for getting me to the old 50 as far as subscribers go. Ooh, very kind. Oh yeah, so everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes like AdSense. So if you watch my videos, I put the money towards model kits. Patreon and Twitch all goes into a fund. I take money out of that fund and I buy model kits and equipment with that money. The Qubeley that I am currently building that we have just about finished tonight, the Qubeley, that kit was purchased by someone from my Amazon wish list, which is wild. I still don't know who bought it because there was no note attached, but that's okay. Um, uh, and so as soon I received that on Sunday, and we started building it on Monday because it was just like, well, it's here. It's the next thing for me to build. I was going to start something new on Monday, so here we go. Start something new. If you would like to see something on the stream get built and that you would pick up yourself, you could go over my Amazon wish list, which right now Amazon is being a little weird with their wish list stuff. If it says Prime, it'll work. You can buy something from that. It'll come in the mail. I'll make a dedicated video for my YouTube channel about the thing you bought. But if it says like free shipping or like I think it was like I don't know. Prime free shipping. Some of those third parties apparently like isn't working right within the. It's complicated. It's annoying. Anyway, there's a bunch of cool shit on my wish list that I would be happy to build, and you could spend money to make it happen. And there's some gear at the bottom because it's nice to have gear as an option. But yeah, I can't reorder my list. It's being weird over there. What isn't weird is my Throne wish list. Throne is being great. They're doing a fantastic job over there on Throne. So you check that out as an alternative. And then the other alternative, the weirdest alternative, go to USA Gundam Store, create an account, buy a gift card. They send you a gift card code in your email. You get that gift card code. You whisper me here on Twitch or send me a DM on Twitter with that gift card code. And then I use that to buy stuff from USA Gundam Store. The most convoluted and complicated way to support me of anything. The easiest is just to become a subscriber. But yeah, there's a bunch of different ways to do that. A way to support me for free is to join my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People will post stuff they're working on. It is a lovely community, and you are welcome to join us there. It's pretty chill. Other things we can talk about to promote, and then we'll get back into building, and I'll talk about some anime, and I'll answer Nukatronic's question. Let's see. Before I get into that, Pat Baer's Anime Club. As I said, new episode coming soon. The current episode is me talking about Harmony Gold's attempt to do a dub of Dragon Ball from 1989, the lost dub, and how it's terrible. But I talk all about it and how it came to be. And how it came to be that we actually have fairly decent versions of it to look at. And Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every week I write and then perform a character piece that I have at some point rehearsed. Barely enough, but I am off book often, and I have rehearsed it quite a bit before performing it. And this most recent one is Danny Local. He's a guy that does something called the Local News, and it's very local because it's about Danny Local. This is part 2 of the Local News. It allows me to be a little silly in those videos and do a little more editing than I normally do in those, and I had fun doing it again. I like Danny Local and his desire to make basically a news program about his life. That makes me laugh. So, all right. The thing I got to do right now is I got to drink a little bit of water, and I got to take it's bedtime, so I got to take some meds. And then we'll get into some conversations, chat a little bit here. But right now, what I'm going to do is drink a little water, and then we'll dramatically transition back to the overhead right now. All right. Oh, I can take these down. We don't need to look at the sub goals anymore. Boop and boop. Great. Let's panel line this, then pop it in, and we're going to talk about some anime. Before we do, we'll talk about a Gundam series, because Nukatronic asked, and I appreciate this question, what's your favorite Gundam series and why, Pat? So, it's I'm going to cheat and give you 2 shows. The series that brought me to love Gundam, the series that brought me into this fandom, was Gundam Wing. I had seen a little bit of the original Gundam series, 79, and it didn't do much for me. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh, that's kind of neat. Gundam Wing hit me hard. The Death Scythe, which is, I have an emote of me as a Death Scythe, became my favorite kit. I started buying kits to build. Fell in love with that series, flaws and all. Gundam Wing rules. So that was my aim, John. Yes, throwing an emote in there. So that was my first love, first Gundam series that I loved. My actual favorite Gundam series. Yes, Gundam Wing has many, many flaws. But yeah, I mean, I still love it. My actual favorite Gundam series is Iron-Blooded Orphans. It is paced incredibly well. It is so fucking sad. There are moments of joy. It seems to go out of its way as if perhaps, the fucking point of the whole show was to go, hey, we need to meditate on why the use of children as pilots of Gundam is so fundamental to this franchise. Like the focus on child soldiers as Gundam pilots. And it's somewhat exploration of new types in a way, but not directly. And it's more than Gundams are a mistake, and Gundam pilots are often war criminals, and that humanity is so willing and interested in othering people that even the idea of being born in space or being born on Earth is a new, fun racism. Like those core fundamental things. Iron-Blooded Orphans is like, yeah, all that's true. Also, hey, what's up with these fucking kids? Why we got these kids murdering people in mechs? What's up? Why? And it is a meditation on that in a way that is heavy-handed, for sure, and Iron-Blooded Orphans also does the meme. It does the fucking meme, the over-your-head meme where it's like, cool robot. It does that. Because the Barbatos fucking rules. They got a big sword sometimes. Got a big lance. Fuck yeah. Oh, we got a special guy here who murders people better than other people. Like, it still does it because it's entertainment and because they want to sell toys. But it tries to come to grips. Child soldiers committing war crimes is a real snake eating its own tail thing. Yeah, for sure. So I've always applauded it. It's messy in parts. I think Iron-Blooded Orphans holds up. I think season 2 is not as strong as season 1. The gut punches in Iron-Blooded Orphans are some all-timers. I think animation holds up. The music is great. It's visually awesome to look at. The battles are strong. It's a top-tier Gundam series, and Gundam Wing is the thing that brought me to the dance. Iron-Blooded Orphans is the reason why I will watch every Gundam series that comes out. I will always be chasing that high. When it's a series about gunpla builders or weird VR or a story of queer women of color fighting against society and corporations are the new government. And don't get me wrong, I love Witcher Mercury. But I'm always going to be chasing the high of Iron Blooded Orphans because it's a very high. I mean, Witcher Mercury is my favorite Gundam series this year and last year. I think it's great. I got no complaints when it comes to Witcher Mercury. I guess the start of season 2, I wish had started immediately after the end of season 1. I guess that would be my one complaint, is that I that felt a bit like a cop out. But I understand. I've come to understand where they were going with it. I need to take a photo of this Qubeley because we are done with the goddamn Qubeley. The Qubeley is Qubelict. That's nope. Nope. So we finished up the Qubeley. I'm going to take a photo of this, and then we'll get into the next thing that I'll be working on, which is a Lego set. That's right. We're going Lego. We're switching over here, and we can start getting set up for that. We won't get much building done, but we can get rid of there. Also, building the MG Tall Geese from Endless Waltz, and it seems kind of small for an MG. I don't remember that. I think the Tall Geese is a little small compared to Gundams because it's not a Gundam. You know what I mean? I don't remember the Tall Geese Master Grade being a little small, but yeah. But it might be because, yeah, like, you know, the scale was just a little different of the old Tall Geese 3. All right, let me get a good photo of this, and then we'll put it away, put it to bed. Great, the Qubeley is done. This kit is weird and very enjoyable. I enjoyed putting this kit together. It's just so strange. I like a weird guy. I've always enjoyed a weird guy mobile suit, although some of these parts do like to just fall off. It's supposed to be very posable, but not all the pieces want to pose the way you want them to. So that's annoying. I built the RG Sazabi, and it towers over it. I know it barely matters, but it's just a funny thing. I mean, the Sazabi is one of the biggest mobile suits. It's, yeah, the Sazabi is large and in charge. Yeah, obviously, you know, different shows and all that, but that is a huge mobile suit you're talking about right there. All right, so let me get rid of this. Okay, I'm gonna switch to this here because I gotta do some typing. So I gotta add in the new thing here because we got a Lego set. So this is a Jurassic Park kit. This is my first time doing a Jurassic Park Lego set. So we're finally building out here. So we're putting it in there. I also had to write down how to pronounce this. This is the Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus. I've never said the Dilophosaurus name out loud before. It's the spitters. It's the ones that go after Dennis. And guess what? Dennis Nedry is here. I'm going to build Dennis. This kit is, yeah, as I said, 211 pieces. Should not be that long of a build. We're building Dennis's Jeep and as a run-in and a little bit of a set here. A little bit of a chomp, yes. This is my first time working, as I said. We got some stickers here. But this will be my first time doing a Jurassic Park Lego set. One thing I was not shocked about is there a little Lego Barbasol can? I don't know. Yes, by the dock, there is a Barbasol can right there. So yes. The answer to that is yes, there is. There's a Barbasol can. They know what they're doing. Hey, we got a little dinosaur right here. Right off the bat, got a dinosaur. Got a little rubberized tail. It's great. Some claws. Looking good. We only have 2 bags, so I'm going to put 1 bag over here. I'm only going to do 1 bag at a time. Tonight, I don't know how much we're going to get as a building, because we got time, so we'll get into that. But mostly this is going to be me knolling and getting stuff together. I'm going to fill out the sides here. And while I get ready to kind of set some stuff up here, we'll talk about some anime as I get into this. Figured now's a good time to talk about 2 shows that I watched. Just kind of give you the thing. So we're on episode 5 of Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence. If you're not watching this show, I'll give you the brief overview of this. Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence is a show about. How do I get? It's a kind of romantic comedy-ish show, a slow slice of life in a lovely fantasy world about Cecilia, who is, we don't know much about her background, but she is a saint. There are male saints and female saints. She is a saint who is in charge of this town and helping out and spreading God's will and performing minor miracles. And Lawrence, who as a youth found Cecilia and rescued her and is now her guardian. And they are definitely romantically interested in one another, but they have not done anything to pursue that in any way, shape, or form yet. Perhaps they will in the future. But right now, they ain't done anything like that. We've got Abel. Abel is Lawrence's childhood friend, who also helps out with church business, but mostly comes to hang out. And then also Hazeletta, who also knows their from past, and she's new. She's barely been in the show, but she's around doing her thing. For those that haven't watched me build Lego before, I am just currently knolling. I am separating by color, and then I will separate by type. This is just so that if I look at, like, oh, I need a gray piece, I can, instead of rooting around in a bowl or a pile, I can then at least go, oh, they're going to be over here. And then also, as I'm doing that, I'm going to build Dennis. I'll build Dennis here. Because that's the first step, is build Dennis. And then also, our dinosaur here is 2 parts. It is one big dinosaur and then the mouth. And so we have to attach the mouth. And then the lower jaw is separate. Now it's there. There it is. Great. Oh, it opens and closes. That's fun. So we got a dino. And then we have 2 faces. We have glasses, sweating, and then we have, I just got stunk faced, which is fun. And what we're going to do, I'm scared, because we'll have them in the car, probably. And there we go. Got those done. So yeah, so I'm just going to knoll some pieces here, get them separate, get them organized, and then we'll get into building, at least getting this kit started. And then, of course, more of that on Saturday. Not Saturday. Today's Saturday. Monday. Yikes. Anyway, St. Cecilia, Pastor Lawrence. This episode was pretty chill. We introduced a new character, Corinne, and we traveled to her. And there's a whole thing. Like the big part of this episode was there's a lake, and there are fairies that are tricking people around that lake. And Cecilia communicates with the fairies and is like, hey, stop messing with people. It is believed that Lawrence's grandfather also went out of his way to protect the town and to deal with these fairies as well years ago. And we learn more about Lawrence's backstory. He was raised by his grandfather when his parents died, and he's basically spending his entire adult life trying his best to, be as good as his grandfather was. That's a big part of this episode, was dealing with all of that. And then at one point, Cecilia does threaten the fairies because they almost hurt Lawrence, which is fun. She gets angry on his behalf, which is great. The other part of this episode was Valentine's Day, which they don't celebrate in that town, but other people know about. And Abel's trying to like push the two of them together, and is like, well, you know, you could make some chocolates. Lawrence could teach you how to make chocolates. And Lawrence is infuriating in this part of the episode. He's not mean or nasty. He's just a dumbass because he's getting jealous at the idea that she's going to make sweets for someone. Like, he's really fucking, like, jealous of this mystery person that she's going to make sweets for. And it never fucking occurs to him at any moment that she's going to make chocolates for him, up until the point where she gives them to him, because like, I guess logically he was like, why would you ask me for help making a gift for me, which I guess makes sense, except duh, dude, because she likes you. What are we doing here? Like, what are we talking about here? It was a little frustrating. But he expressed herself in a way that, like, his jealousy, she was actually kind of happy because she got to see a side of him she hasn't seen before. So I guess it worked out okay for the dude, but it was, in my opinion, annoying. I was just like, come the fuck on, my guy. Like, you gotta do better than this. You gotta be a little smarter. I understand that this is a story, and for this story, part of the story needs to be that the will they, won't they is that they are both clueless about what exactly they want and how to pursue it. But come on. It is a nice romantic comedy. I like the setting. I like the characters a lot for the most part. I've enjoyed my time with this particular series. But this like level of like, come on, what are we doing here? Because also every character they meet instantly realizes that the two of them are interested in one another. It's like so obvious to everyone but them. And for storytelling purposes, it's got to be that way. But in the long run, I was like, all right, come on. What else are we going to talk about here? Let's talk about Undead Murder Farce. If you have not been watching this, our main characters are Suguru. Suguru is half demon. He's half Oni. And he is looking for the person that turned him into half of a demon. And basically condemned him to eventually going mad. Like, he will someday lose all his faculties and become just a monster. Suguru has paired up with Aya. Aya is the only known immortal in the world. But she is currently just ahead because the same person that awoken the monster in Suguru also chopped off Aya's head and stole her body. So the two of them are working together, and as they investigate, they are solving other crimes to make the name for themselves, to try to get more clues and make good connections. There was a whole thing with some vampires. This is a world where vampires are around. Dracula is dead, not in the series, just in informative. We don't see Dracula, but we know that Dracula is dead. And there was a whole case with some vampires and a murder mystery that was cool. We're in the second story, the second case. And that case, Dracula is not loving it, Lord Christian. Dracula is dead and not happy, as far as I can tell. And this is where, look, the villain of this piece is 100% definitely Moriarty. Like, instantly you're just like, oh, it's Moriarty, because he's got a cane with an M on it. It's going to be Moriarty. Even more so to the fact that Sherlock Holmes is in this world. And I talked about this last episode, the reveals. So the first reveal is, this case is, hey, I'm hiring a bunch of people because a world famous thief has declared that he plans to steal a diamond that I own. So I have hired you, Sherlock Holmes, and also this famous company the Royal Insurance Company to help me. And then also, I have hired Aya and Suguru to help with this. Now, the person that hired them is interesting because that person is Fog from Around the World in 80 Days. We got another historical character in the series. And the most important thing is the duo that plans to steal this diamond are Lupin. Lupin? We'll just say Lupin. Lupin. Not Lupin the Third. Lupin the First. Lupin the First, the famous thief, and Eric, his partner in crime, who is the Phantom of the Opera. And last week was the motivations of these characters and what they were going to do, and hearing from everybody, and Aya and Sherlock Holmes, like not really like being combative, but they're hired to work together, to work at the same job, but not necessarily together, and all this stuff. And this episode basically could be subtitled, "Hey, Lupin's fucking cool," because it is. This is just an episode about how cool Lupin is, because he goes out of his way to run into Sherlock Holmes and Aya to basically let them know, like, hey, I'm doing this shit. He's got the confidence to do it. He's got the plans. And then also, he can back up those plans, because an element of this series so far, up until this point, has been people plan a bunch of stuff, and then they try to pull it off, and they find out that Suguru is an incredibly adept fighter, and they just fuck up. The vampire that from the previous episode, like, really thought he was hot shit, and they just got his fucking ass kicked. That is not the case. Lupin can back it up. Lupin is strong and also clever, and also willing to cheat and distract. So we get to see him, like, seemingly outwitting Sherlock Holmes and Aya, who is considered to be a fantastic detective. Her detective reasoning is off the charts, apparently. And then just go toe-to-toe to fighting. Yeah, great. And he's just, like, calm throughout the whole thing, which is really fun. And we haven't seen Suguru. Suguru was seemingly evenly matched with the maid in the very first episode, but probably would have won that fight for over a long period of time. And in this case, he's like, yeah, run into trouble. And then Holmes is just like, yeah, this doesn't matter. I don't care if Lupin's strong. There's only one entrance to where we put the diamond, so we got it. If I find out this isn't the real Sherlock Holmes, because they're portraying Sherlock Holmes as just, like, not the smartest guy in the room, which I think is interesting. Because the end of this episode is he and Watson and the police agents are trapped because the ventilation system is being flooded. It looks like Lupin is flooding them out, which is interesting. I don't know where it goes for that. I don't know where we're going for this whole thing. But this episode was really focused on, like, hey, Lupin's fucking pretty cool, y'all. Which I was surprised about. Again, a show that I came into this season with very little interest in. I like, whatever. Oh, it's a detective. Okay. But the first episode hit some of my friends so hard. They were so interested in the show. And so enthused about the first episode that I had to check it out. And I'm glad I did, because it's one of my favorite shows this season. It's just so fucking good. So those are the two anime that I've been watching this season. We got some time left in the stream as we start to work here on our Lego I'm gonna get my part separator out here. I just want to have my part separator, and then I'm going to use a spudger to apply the decals here, so I have those things together. I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? Or is there anything that's got you interested? You go to the movies this weekend? You watching any sports? You watching the FedEx Cup this weekend? Like what's got you going? What are you excited about? I would love to hear from you. Whoa, what do we got right here? I just heard a sound. Oh, we got a tip. Bobby Dice Roller just tipped. Thank you so much, Bobby. I gotta go to Stream Elements here to read that. So let me go to Stream Elements. Hold on. Pro dashboard profile. No, dashboard. Gotta go to my dashboard. Because I don't have that set up. Let's see here. Come on. What are we doing here? Come on. Dashboard. Come on, Stream Elements. Show me the message. Show me the message. Because I couldn't see it well when it appeared there. So I got to see here. Activity feed. Okay. Great. There we go. I only just realized I should donate here so you get more money. Sorry, says Bobby. Bobby, that's lovely of you to say. Don't worry about that. That's not something that you need to concern yourself with. Any way you want to support me is fine. You set up the alert so this I can do more often. Yeah, I mean, I have the alert, the overhead alert, but I don't have it. People don't use Stream Elements that frequently with me, so I don't have it as a tab. I should have it open as a tab, so I can instantly just go and look at the Stream Elements activity feed. I'll say this. Any way you want to support me is the right way to support me. Financial-wise, right? Patreon's the better cut than Twitch, right? But Twitch gets people's emotes. They get cool emotes that my friend Xandra made, and I paid her to make those. They don't see ads. It's a better experience. Subscribing to Twitch or gifting a sub to Twitch is the best way for folks that are watching me, in my opinion anyway, unless you pay. Hey, if you pay for Turbo, like, then whatever. But in my opinion, I still get a cut. The numbers go up. It's still a fine way to support me. But yeah, Patreon, Twitch, joining my YouTube membership. One-time tip: buying a kit from Amazon on my wish list once ever, and also doing none of that stuff. Totally cool. Any way people want to support me is awesome. Also, chatting, just watching a stream, I'll say this. I don't say this enough, and streamers in general don't say this enough. Just telling people that you like my streams is ridiculous. Like, it's like huge, right? Like, you're in conversation with a friend. They're like, "Oh, well, who do you watch on Twitch, though?" If that comes up in conversation, be like, "Oh, well, this guy Pat Baer builds model kits and Lego. He talks about anime and wrestling and constantly talks shit about Elon Musk." You'd be like, "Oh, okay. So that guy's got a nice community. It's a nice place. You can swear in there, whatever." Like, that's like an unbelievably important way to help me out that doesn't cost anybody any money. But you also don't have to do anything. Now I'm going to read what you've been saying. Yeah, right, M. John? You might want to check that guy out. He's pretty cool. Ghost Valve is still on the Baldur's BS trade. Well, enjoy the Look, hey, I happen to know from a friend. I'm gonna let you all in a little secret. I heard from somebody. Baldur's Gate 3 is apparently a very long video game. There's like a lot of content in that game. So get in there. That's just a little don't tell anybody I told you. Lord Crashington's catching up on the new season of What We Do in the Shadows, and it's still fantastic. The Pride Parade episode is just pure chaos. I am so behind on What We Do in the Shadows. as always, I am thrilled and ecstatic that show continues to exist and they get to keep making more and just doing wild, weird shit. Obviously, everyone is great, and I am not the first nor the last person to tell you that Matt Baerly is a international treasure. Matt Baerly is an undeniable gift. God, so fucking funny. But in general, they very, very good. Harold says IndyCar and NASCAR on the road course in Indianapolis. Hell yeah, you getting some racing in. Nice. Enjoy that, Harold. I'm putting on a license plate of sorts. This is the number 12 car, so it's kind of like a license plate, but I'll be applying that right now. Alerts. Yeah. Dustin. Hey, Dustin. Welcome. Says, I finally started the Final Fantasy 14 free version. Oh, yeah. The meme finally got you. We'll see how far I get since I'm not usually into MMOs long term. I mean, for me, when I played MMOs, which was really only two, World of Warcraft and City of Heroes, when I played both of those MMOs, it was specifically because I had friends who were really into that MMO. There was a guild of people that I knew in World of Warcraft that were all comedians. It was a New York comedy guild. Eventually, we had some LA people and some Chicago people, but it was, for the most part, all New Yorkers. And that got me interested. And similarly, with City of Heroes, I had a friend group that really loved the game. So, people who love City of Heroes really love City of Heroes. It was so fucking good. God damn, it was fucking fun. I had a great time with City of Heroes. And I was in it with a crew that really loved it. Getting over some East Coast illness I caught, says John, starting Remnant 2 and getting back into Rainbow Six Siege lately. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's always fun to go back to a game that you're like, yeah, you know what? Hey, I forgot. This game rules. Like, yeah, it's fun to go back to those games. Let's see. I watched the next set of episodes of Serial Experiments Lane for the this is for Nextlanders Watchcast. They are that is a watch along podcast where they have made the decision to do outside of Union Media, outside of Struck Media. So they're going with anime just to instead of doing, which I appreciate as someone who is not in a union but does receive residuals on occasion for the work he has done in said union. I appreciate that from them. I don't know why I remember this show being very slow. The show is throwing a lot at you. So, yeah, I don't think that Lane is a slow burn. I think Lane is a weird burn. It is just, it throws a lot at you, and you're like, wait, what? It requires a lot of thought outside of the series, I would say. I don't think Serial Experiments Lane should be watched multiple episodes in a row. I think the weekly is the way to watch that. That's my opinion. I don't know. I don't think you should be marathoning Lane, but that's just me. We have it every Friday during lunch at your house. Oh, that was What We Do in the Shadows. Nice. City of Heroes was the first MMO I addicted a college roommate to. Uh-oh. Yep. Yeah, also, yeah. You had a coworker who, for the last decade, has told me how much he misses City of Heroes, including last week. Like I said, it was so good. The systems were really solid. The character creator was great. It was fun to play with people. I'll admit fully that I was very lucky because I was within some really talented people that knew what they were doing, and that's both with World of Warcraft and the leader of my guild, my fun good time guild of World of Warcraft. I think I've told the story before. Eventually quit because he got into raiding. He had started an alt character and had that alt character join a different guild so that he could do raid content, and then he eventually had to quit our guild because he got too busy with raiding. I was like, oh yeah, I've never raided in Warcraft. That was just never a thing I wanted to do. I wanted to just go all over the map have a cool character, get in PvP fights on occasion, but mostly just like run around with my crew and have a good time doing dumb shit. You know, go to dungeons, but not necessarily like raid content. I was never there for the raid content. Um, let's see. Tell him with the private servers. He was very upset when he learned that private servers were running for years. Oh God, that like there were private servers and you just never knew about it. Yeah, that would hurt me too. You enjoyed COV though. I was a ninja mastermind. Nice. City of Villains. Yeah. I rated so hard I dropped out of college to do it full time. Yeah, I mean, like I said, my buddy, coworker, he worked at our job, and then he played World of Warcraft, and that was it. At one point, that was all he was doing was work and Warcraft, and he still worked. He never quit his job, but he played a lot of World of Warcraft and a lot of raids. That became like the second thing that he did. I think he played more Warcraft than he worked. Raid culture preparing me for the corporate culture big time. I mean, totally. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's definitely, yeah, that's totally right. What is Project Spirit, Project Sprint, but a large raid? Yeah, you know, working together with people that have a common goal, but not necessarily came together specifically for that goal. People trying to fulfill their roles within a group, dealing with interpersonal dramas and nonsense and outside stimulation, and people who have different degrees of desire to complete said project that are in it for different reasons. You know, the people that are in it for personal glory or advancement, and the people that are in it for fun group activity. And then, is this going to be the red one or the orange one? Let me look here. This is going to be... I just need to know if this is red or... Okay, so that's the back. So I think this is orange. I can't really fully tell if that's supposed to be red or orange because I have red and orange here and in this bag. So I'm just going to look here. I think these are supposed to be red. But sometimes in some photos it looks orange. But no, these are the orange ones because they're up top. Okay, so this is red. Sometimes these photos make it look red, but the orange go on the other side. Okay, I got it now. Taillights are always red, right? Yes, but this is a vehicle from a movie, so you never fully know, right? Like how much of this is a Jeep and how much of this was changed. But yes, it should be red. But sometimes you just never know, John. All right. We'll get a little bit more of this done here. And of course, we're going to keep working on this on Monday. I don't think we're going to finish this. Actually, no. When I think about it, we're going to finish this on Monday. I don't know what we're going to do after that, but in fact, you know what? I'm going to say this. I do know what we're doing next. I don't think necessarily we're going to finish it on Monday. We could finish this on Monday, but I'll tell you this. I'm executive Pat Baer decision. It's my channel. The thing I'm building after I'm done with this, which won the poll from my Patreon, I'm building the Gundam Rose or the Rose Gundam, because people won't. Umjan used the button. Yes. John, fair point, using the channel points for this. Yeah. I'm building that Gundam Rose from G Gundam because I really want to build that. It's a premium Bandai kit that I bought with my own goddamn money. I mean, support from all of you, of course, and thank you very much. But I picked that kit up, and it hasn't won a poll, and I really want to build it because it looks gorgeous. Look at these beams. Look at this beam saber. That's beautiful. So that's the next thing we're building. Executive decision. Because also that way I don't have to do a poll immediately to decide what I'm building next. The only thing keeping me from doing that is if before I hell yeah, I think is a $50,000 redeem. I could probably try to find a sound effect that says hell yeah. I don't know. But basically, the only point I was trying to make there was I will work on the Gundam Rose when this Lego set is done. Just make a poll where that's the only options as Lord Crashington did. That's very funny. I'm not going to do that, but that is funny. That is a funny idea. We're just going to put him there. Just build the scene here. But yeah, if something comes in from my wish list before I start the Gundam Rose, of course we'll do that. But if this, just like the polls are not working out in my favor, the solution is to just not do a poll. Because I think by the end of Monday we're going to wrap this build up. Because there's not a lot. It's only 200-something pieces, so we'll probably get close to finishing up. And we'll get some... I got to move a bunch of Lego off here. But that is going to do it for our stream tonight. I'm going to wrap things up there for now. Yeah. But the night is young. And by that, I mean we're going to raid. That's all the night is young meant. Is we're going to go find somebody doing cool shit out there that we want to go spend a little time with. And we're going to go hang out with them. Let me see here if this is what I think it is. Yes. So, my friends, Rara and Melty Kit. Melty Kit has raided us quite a bit. Rara has both raided and been in the chat, and we've raided Rara a bit. They're playing Snatcher, and there are and just kind of like a joint stream, just hanging out, playing some games, having a good time. We're gonna go raid and hang out with them and see what's going on. So please come along on this raid because it'll be fun. My next stream, yes, indeed. Because we always end with a raid. My next stream will be on Monday. I'll be working on this Lego kit, having a good time. I hope you come hang out with me for that. Great. Oh. Great. Raid has been created. Please come along on this raid. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Thank you again for Bobby for the donation. And also, thank you very much, Bobby, for the raid. Or not the raid, the gifted subs. That's what I meant to say. Thank you, Bobby, for the gifted subs and for hanging out. I hope everyone has an excellent night. Come along on this raid. Come back on Monday. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye.